none of them. So we're going to have to leave those for after the stream. We know the audio is a little bit buggered. I've let Esea know. Hopefully they'll have it fixed up by tomorrow. If not, then I will try and find some sort of a solution using a different audio file, perhaps. We'll wing it. We'll wing it. Why haven't we started? Because I have no control over when we start. I sit here and wait for things to get started before I get to do the bit that I do, which is the commentating. So, yeah. I just have to sit here and wait patiently. Oh, nice. Demise tweeted me out. That's sick. If any of the amazing people at Demise who tweeted me out are here, thank you very, very much. It's awesome to get the support from the orgs. But we are waiting. There we go. Right, so people who wanted the game to start, we are starting now. We're going to go straight into the knife round, which of course decides which side the teams are going to start on. Logan looking a little bit AFK there, but he's recovered well to get back into things. Side could be important here. This is a little bit interesting. We'll have to wait and see how this one pans out. Teams do tend to like the CT side of Mirage a lot more than they do their T side. Currently, Heretics are absolutely smashing this knife round, showing perhaps that team coordination that could be so important on a map like Mirage. They will more than likely opt to start over on the CT side of things, and indeed they will. Mirage is a very team-oriented map, and it's going to be interesting to see how things go as we get into this matchup. I've got people saying, are you Demise, Joe? You are. I got you, Joe. Here we go. A lot of utility picked up on the CT side of things. Not something you see all that often. A fair bank of nades, 2 HEs, 2 flashes, and a smoke. Engine, of course, picking up the utility over on the Demise side of things, as I suspect. He's picking up the IGL role. Smoke and a flash onto Bayaz as well to try and take the opening contact. They're heading towards that B bomb site, but a heavy stack from Heretics is going to keep them at bay for the time being. Very passive into the early round. Neither side wanting them to be the ones to make that opening mistake, as Jane just falls back. This is where the HEs are. Logan and David P looking for the stack against a B rush. This could be really interesting. But Demise are just holding back. They do have the P250 on Paz if they want to try and take the ranged engagement. And they're just starting to back away from that B bomb site now, negating the effect of the HEs. That $600 isn't going to do much damage at all for Heretics, as instead Demise start to creep their way round towards that A bomb site. They've got a couple of smokes, flashes to flash themselves out. They could have a really nice set play in towards the A bomb site here. What will come of it is the ultimate question. Everybody just creeping their way round towards A. It doesn't look like Heretics want to play too heavily into the retake, especially without the defuse kit. So they've got a couple of players here to contest. It's going to be down to Jinx and Maka to really stop this push. Smokes come out. There's only 2 available. That's going to leave CT isolated. Now the flashes start to come through, trying to make their way out to Demise as they take the early contact. Jinx completely able, but can't quite find the initial headshots. Falls back into CT. Looks happy to play the retake at the moment as Demise keep pushing on through. They're looking for that contact into towards CT. Plenty of CT presence in the meanwhile, though, and this is going to be a very difficult combat for Jinx and Heretics to take. They've got to push straight into the crosshairs of 3 players from Demise here. Can they find any damage as the push comes through? Jinx and Jane get a frag apiece, and now this is looking much better. The dinks are coming through, but Engine can only find 1. Second and a third for Bayaz, but Logan just cleans up house. 2 bullets, 2 kills, and Heretics will take the pistol. Oh my goodness gracious me, even delaying that defuse so they can pick up the best stuff on the floor. That was a frantic round by the CT side. I really didn't see a way they were going to get back into things there. Pushing in from CT, but the frags just didn't quite go the way of Demise. Not quite connecting with the headshots. We saw Engine getting a couple of good dinks. Paz not really coming into it as much as you think. And then Logan just cleaning up in brutal style. Question is, how do they bounce back? Please don't rage, bro. Lamau. 4 Deagles and a Scout over on the Demise side of things. There's plenty of firepower for Heretics. Of course, they picked up the M4 onto Jinx. Maka dropping down onto the Scout, but it is 2 M4s and a FAMAS. Heavy investment here on the CT side of things. And if they can make a little bit of a dent here, Demise could have a real chance into round number 3. Maka trying to take that early contact with the Scout, peeking towards Connector, baiting them into the crosshairs, and now David P gets the opening onto him. Or nice damage as well onto Mini, who's had to fall back, have to play passively towards top mid. There's no utility over on the Demise side of things. They can't afford to try and be too proactive here. Engine is going to get dunked by that nade, down to 41 HP. and this is really just about the damage now. Maka trying to get that shot through, not quite going to connect, and I'm going to turn my voice down because things have got a little bit too loud up in here. Maka still on that scout through the boxes, tags Paz down to 25. That's a beautiful shot, and David P should have just spotted the legs of Engine. Indeed he did. He starts to clean up house here, and this is very well managed over on the Heretics side of things. Of course, not going to take anything away from Demise in this one. They had very limited opportunities with the pistols they have. Mayas going to get taken down by David P, his third of the round. Just looking to capitalize. A couple of tagged players. He could be on for the ace here in the second round. Start to build up that confidence as he does indeed grab himself the fourth. Last man alive has 17 HP, but Logan going to be the one to steal it away from his teammate. Grabs just the one kill in the round to prevent the ace. And Heretics take the 2-0 lead. Now, that round was great to begin with, but again, Demise, they struggled to get that damage really going. They struggled to find their way back into the round, and that's going to be an issue they have to correct going forwards. They need to find damage on those pistol half-buys, as now they bring out the AK-47s. Immor even getting his hands on the Krieg. Best CT rifle in the game, as I say, absolutely every stream, so Heretics would do well to get their hands on that one. They have opted to stick with what they've got. They're stuck on that MP9, the scout on Maka, but the damage was so good against the pistols. Why would you go for it? Your voice is too loud. Turn it down. Sure thing, my dude. Let me know what you think of the audio chat. It is a learning game for me. Haven't really had a chance to test this out with work, but as Demise head towards middle, we'll hope the audio is balanced, and they are going to be able to take mid control relatively simply here. Logan trying to play around the edges of those smokes. Doesn't really have a lot he can do, but look at that CT aggression. They've pushed all the way down a ramp. Jinx and David P, so much map control to work with. They have no idea that Paz is right behind them. That is absolutely awful, but they're managing to flank round towards middle. This is all about the timing now, because Paz has no idea he's been flanked, and if we see David P pushing in towards the A Palace area, he should get an easy frag. Meanwhile, his teammates need to stay alive. Lovely shot from Mini2K to take down Logan early on. That B bomb site looking a little bit vulnerable now, as David P does manage to find Paz on that flank. I think they've got the bomb. What a double kill from Maka. Jane cleans up house, and once again it falls apart for Demise. Oh my goodness, Maka on that scout, clearly feeling confident, hitting headshots for days in towards that B bomb site and making it look very, very simple indeed. Jinx just going to clean up house onto Bayaz here, and it was the first rifle round, so I'm going to give them a little bit of an opportunity, but for Demise, this is not the start they would have wanted. With this new look roster, they would have wanted to feel like they're hitting the shots, hitting their stride very early on in this game, and so far they've been struggling to do so. We'll once again see the Deagles coming out. 5 Deagles? I mean, Immor's currently on his knife, but no, he's only got a Glock to work with. And this is where it gets awkward for Demise. They only have 4 Deagles to work with. They need to find some damage. You can see that economy already starting to build up over on the CT side of things. They've got so much cash to work with. And as Mayaz is found early on by Maka peeking in towards under, you've got to wonder what the T side's plan is. Engine trying to wander out towards B as an easy frag to find for Jane. And now they're trying to explode onto the A bomb site. But Jinx has got one very early on. No real consequences. He starts to swing to look for more damage, more frags in fact. Immor's trying to bait this out, but he only has the Glock to work with, 40 HP. That's an easy frag to find, and the last man alive is Paz, 66 HP and a Deagle to try and find some kind of damage in this round, to try and show what Demise can do in this situation, but he's already being flanked from behind, and now the contact's going to come through. He does manage to grab the one, but a lovely shot from Maka just stops the bleeding before it gets too significant. 4-0 the scoreline, and for Demise, they need to start finding some kills. They have, what, a combined total of 5? You're not meant to do any maths on stream, but let's go for it. 4-0 the scoreline. AWP comes out onto Immor. Rifles across the board over on the CT side of things. 2 M4s, 3 M4s in fact, and a couple of AK-47s to work with as well. Let's see what they can find here. Interestingly, is heading for an early B peak. Not going to be looking for too much in the early stages. Instead, setting up with utility straight towards this B-bomb site, not messing around whatsoever. Nice nade towards top of mid will get chip damage, but it's down to Jane and Logan to really defend this bomb site. A little bit late on the molly. Mini's got into the site, so's the second man, but Logan and Jane get a frag apiece, and the situation is rectified all too easily. Engine able to get one on the flank, but Once again, it's 4 versus 2 for Demise. Immor takes the peak. We'll be able to hit the shot onto Jane to make it a little bit more interesting at the very least. But you can see Heretics, they can just swarm. That bomb is down in the middle of the bomb site. They have utility to burn, and they're going to use those Molotovs beautifully to try and force Demise out into the site. David P takes the tag, taken down by Engine, and now this becomes winnable 2-on-2, and there's utility for the T side to burn. Lovely shot from Immor to get the first. Maka able to capitalize, gets the refrag. 1 versus 1. Engine versus Maka. Who finds this shot? The timing is good for the Frenchman, and Heretics will have their 5th. I don't know if Demise are looking for the underdog story, but they've sure as hell got it now. 5-0 the scoreline. And this is looking very awkward indeed for the Turkish roster. They need to start finding some rounds. They need to do it sooner rather than later indeed. Very strong buy over on the CT side of things. Mac are able to grab the AWP. Jane on the secondary, and it's AKs and a UMP for Paz to try and pick up that extra utility to try and get something to work with here. Jane aggressive on the peak, a little bit unfortunate as he finds the tag onto Engine down to 17 HP. Look at the nade damage being done by the CT side as well. They're trying to swarm the B bomb site, but Maka holding towards short, gets the first. Shoulder peek misses the second, but there it is. Finds the second, finds the third. Maka single-handedly holding down short, looking for more. He's on for the ace as he gets the quad, and Paz, last man alive, is just going to be cleaned up by Logan. Oh, that is shockingly bad from the Demise boys. They had AKs, they had utility, and just trying to swarm onto that AWP. They gave Maka so many opportunities to just cock that trigger, hit his shots, and he took every shot that was given to him in fairness. But they're not making it difficult, Demise. They need to find some kind of consistency here. They need to try and find their rhythm. They're really going to be a problem for the Frenchman in this matchup. Deagles again across the board for the T side to try and find something. Bayaz takes the early nades to the face, but not going to be finding too much from that. Everybody just takes a pause for a moment. I would like to see Demise perhaps using their timeouts at this point. I think they need to try and find something as Maka and Logan find a frag apiece across both maps, and it's just looking a little bit too simple at the moment for the CT side. However, the trades start to come through. Couple of Deagle kills. Maka steadies the ship with a first. There's an AK recovered onto the T side. This double AWP setup, though, is a little bit too much as Jane just covers his AWPing friend. And it's all onto Paz once more. Finds himself this time 1 versus 3. Completely stuck in towards the connector. The one smoke to work with, but a flick and a half from Maka just starts to clean up house. 7-0 the scoreline. And it really does look like Demise just can't find the kills here. Immor topping the scoreboard on 4. That is not going to do it when you've got Maka hitting 13 kills in round number 7. You need a little bit more than that over on your T side of things. They do have the AKs. Again, Immor has been able to get his favored AWP into his hands, but he's going to have to try and find some damage with it. They need to try and find the opening pick here, the T side. Just taking stock of the situation as, again, they're trying to head towards that B bomb site. Everybody knows B is a bitch on Mirage. I'm not sure why they're trying to head towards that bomb site. They need to try and play a little bit more passively, perhaps look to use some utility, take control of mid and work around that play. Because at the moment, it's not working out for Demise. Paz, again, is just trying to fall back, trying to make that noise towards A, drag the rotation away, but that's not going to work. You see Jinx and David P, they're happy that they have control of this bomb site. A couple of flashes into pallets are not going to clear this one out. And with 1 minute and 5 left on the clock, they need to see some kind of an execute here from Demise. Looks like they are going to use the utility towards mid, or on him off, trying to get the opening pick, trying to get something going in this round. Logan there to support his teammate towards short, though, and it's such a strong CT setup from Heretics. You can tell they are feeling so confident in this situation. They're totally happy just to leave 2 players on this A bomb site. Logan's happy to get aggressive towards short, where he is going to be challenged now. Mini looking to use the utility, but it's a lovely opening pick. A second as well for Logan. The AWP just about escapes, but how does he get that double kill there? Oh, too easy, and as Maka's got Paz locked out, a lovely flick from him again. It's down to Engine and Immor again to just find damage. Engine in towards under. He has support towards top of mid, but he's looking completely the wrong way. That smoke does not cover him whatsoever. Maka finds an easy kill, and I think Immor has to save here. It's going to be 8-0 in favor of Team Heretics in what is looking more and more stompish as proceedings continue. This is quite the performance at the moment from the Frenchman. And worrying signs for the Demise boys. They need to try and find something. We need some consistency, lads. What can they do? That's the question. What can they do to steady this ship here? The pause has finally been called. Let's see who called it. That's a new thing I can do. Demise have finally called for the timeout at 8-0 down. They are finally looking to perhaps put some strategy into their game. I mean, anything they can do at this point would be great. They need to try and find some of that consistency. They need to try and find some way back into the proceedings here. What can they do? That's the question. How do they get themselves back into this game? How do they drag themselves back into this best of one as well? They need to find some picks, perhaps. Paz this time picking up the AWP. Has a spawn towards middle, trying to contest, but almost instinctively you see Heretics just backing out of that situation. Falling back towards the A bomb site. Not going for any real aggression towards mid. They trust Jane in towards short. They're making it very simple. And you do worry for the Demise roster at the moment. They need to try and find something. Again, queuing up aggressively towards that B bomb site. Trying to find some kind of a pick. You can see Paz clearing the angles. He's dropped the AWP back onto Immor, who is the default AWPer for this Demise roster. So an understandable decision that you would drop that AWP across. And now the utility starts to queue up. What can Demise do here? Logan drops the deep smoke, has flashbangs to support it as well. He can stop this push single-handedly. Jane gets the call, rotates over. The Molotov goes deep. That's going to need to be put out. The damage is being done as Paz tries to jump out the window. That's a free frag. And you can see the CT side starting their rotation already, backing out of situation. Demise don't look like they're ready for this. Lovely flashbangs, but Maka catches Mini on the nade. And Jane is just having a shooting gallery with this AWP. Misses a shot onto Paz, and Immor actually finds a really lovely wallbang with the AWP. Opportunity to find damage, but the trades are just going the way of Heretics. Jane and Maka are raining down hellfire on those AWPs. And it is looking all too simple. 9-0 the scoreline. And for Demise, a long road back at the moment. A very long road back indeed. What can they do here? Again, drop onto the Deagles. 5 Deagles, a little bit of armor, a flashbang onto Paz, but they haven't been finding damage with the rifles. You do really wonder what's going to happen with the pistols in hand, as Heretics with a 9-0 lead on the CT side are just starting to feel their way back into MDL. A couple of huge nades as Paz and Immor both brought down to half. Jane grabs an opening pick towards B, has the support. David P even grabs one towards A, and it's just disorganized from the Demise roster. They're not peeking as units. They're not looking for any kind of double peaks. The trades onto the AWPers aren't quite there, and you do wonder, they are a very new roster. You do wonder if that's the cause of it, as Jane just cleans up. And this is the problem for Demise at the moment. They're buying these pistols, they're investing the cash into their rounds, but they're not finding any success with it. They're not finding any kind of consistency, and they're not even finding any damage. And at 10-0, I really would like to see them use some more timeouts. Maybe just try and find any ideas that your teammates have on how to get back into things here. How do you start to drag yourself back into this game? That's the real question. And I do worry for Demise. They've got the full buy once more. Immor is back on that AWP, and he needs to find some damage. We need to see something, a spark of light from this Demise roster. I want to sell the underdog story so badly. Nice use of utility to force out the underplayer, but there's no punishment from the A ramp. I desperately want to sell this underdog story. I desperately want Demise to pull off a comeback out of nowhere, but at the moment, they're just not looking well-oiled. They're not looking like a well-oiled machine. They're sporadic peaking, individuals trying to go for the hero play, and it's not working out as it stands. They are again going to head back towards that B-bomb site. They're going to try and find some way back into proceedings here. And it looks like once more they're going to fall back onto their trusty B execute. Deep smoke again from Logan, and he has got this one so well locked out from that van position. It's going to be the exact same call from Demise. This time, the Org of Logan is a little bit isolated, and that Org, having been nerfed through the floor, is not so good for the multi-kills as the utility reigns over the top. Logan sets himself up tight on the right-hand side, trying to buy time for the rotations. You can see Engine desperately trying to cut out that connector area, but Jinx has got him taken down. Logan gets a freebie, looks for more, but can only find the single kill. That leaves the B-bomb site a little bit open, but the short support is already there. Jane through the smoke grabs an opening pick. 4 on 2 now as Paz and Mini just desperately trying to steady the ship. Jane grabs another from short before he's traded out, and it's a 1 versus 3 once again for Paz. Macca's got the timing, and it's 11-0 the way of Heretics. This is not the kind of outing into MDL that Demise would have envisioned themselves having. Really unfortunate to see them struggling this hard. Heretics really just putting on a little bit of a show here. Macca on 18 kills, just the 1 death at the moment, showing what they can do, the French roster, as they will look to pull off a very deep run into this season, try and get into those Pro League playoff spots. Imol goes aggressive. Finally, I see Demise grabbing the opening pick, and that's actually opened up the A-bomb site a little bit. Nice damage through the smoke. Will be traded out by Paz. So a 4 on 3 now for the T side, and they have support towards that A-bomb site. Can they find the damage, though? And again, Macca sets himself up with the AWP, takes down Imol. The Molotov goes deep to try and isolate these fights, and that just allows Macca out onto the site. Mini stuck as Chain takes down his teammate, and again, such a well-orchestrated recovery from Heretics. Last man alive, Bayaz trying to get something done. He finds a couple of tags of damage through the boxes, but he's stuck towards Tetris. Logan's got him locked out, and it will be 12-0 before you even know what's happened. Oh my goodness, ladies and gents, this is not promising signs for Demise. They need to just find some consistency, steady the ship a little bit. They're going to go for the buy here. They've, of course, on absolute maximum loss bonus, so they're just going to be trying to invest into every round, trying to find some sort of damage into them. But at 12-0, this is not the kind of scoreline Demise would have envisioned for their start into MDL Season 32. Can they find anything? They're setting up for the A execute. They're going to use the utility. People asking for pings. I'll show it at the end of the round if I can. The utility's going to be thrown over the top. They're trying to lock the CTs out. Mini clears the angle, but Jinx a little bit too good for him. Grabs a second. Finally, Imol there on the trade, but it's again 4 versus 3. The Mac 10 still in the hands of Bayaz as he's trying to use the utility to get in towards this A bomb site. Nice use of the flashes. They are clearing the angles. AK recovered. They have some firepower to work with. The bomb currently stuck in towards Sandwich. Imol needs to find frags. Grabs the first. Jane on the secondary. AWP, an easy find. Surely Demise can grab themselves around here. 3 on 2. It's down to Logan and David P to try and recover the situation for Heretics. That bomb has to go down. Engine a little bit too easy to find for Logan in towards the jungle, and it's going to be a 2 on 2 as the retake looks to come in. The nade just missing its target. It's a beautiful angle for Bayaz, and he will grab the first kill. It is all onto Logan. 2v1. He knows where the first player is. He's tagging him up through the boxes. Uses the smokes to limit the angles, and now Bayaz looks to drop off. Changes up his angle. Makes things a little bit difficult for the CT man. Logan has no idea where to look. So many angles to check. So little time. 2 on 1. The double peak comes in, and it won't be a 16-0, ladies and gentlemen, as Demise grab their first round on the board. And there's the pings for whoever in the chat was interested. Finally, Demise get themselves on the board. They find that first round. And maybe they can build from here. Maybe they can start to find some consistency. That would be the ultimate goal, of course, is just to find some rounds here. Just build up a little bit of confidence. Build up anything you really can. This match is probably too far gone at this point to really be of much use worrying about, but just get your executes in. They're again going to head towards that A-bomb site. I like to see them mixing it up. Engine towards top and mid. Only has the Mac 10 to work with, but he's going to go aggressive. Look for the peak. He spots out plenty of firepower. Logan swings around, though. Still finds the shot as Jane gets aggressive into Palace. Grabs himself the double kill. And here we go again. The dismantle has come in from Heretics. And it's down to Mini and Emor to try and find anything, to try and build that confidence back up in this roster. 12-1 down. This is just a routine, lovely shot from Mini. But at the moment, it's looking like a routine dismantle from the Frenchman. The aggressions from the French are so well timed. They're looking so efficient in this best of one. Looking like they have the measure of their teammates here on Mirage. They know exactly what their team are doing. They know what the opponents are doing. It's just looking all too simple. So 2 versus 4 as the bomb heads back around towards that B bomb site. Logan getting a little bit aggressive in towards top of mid, but that's just going to make it even more difficult for Immol to make his way out of under and up connector. He doesn't even have a smoke. Mini has no utility to support him. I have no idea what the T-side are going to try and do. Immol are able to get a freebie onto Logan, looking the wrong way. They'll loop back around. They may well choose to hit the B bomb site here with 28 seconds left on the clock. If Mini can make enough noise coming out of Palace, he could draw the rotation, but instead the bomb is trying to head back towards A. I don't even know if he has time to do that. Jane spied out in the open. That's a freebie. The time is starting to work in the favor of Demise. 2-on-2, but this bomb's still got to go down. There's only 10 seconds left on the clock, and Heretics will know this. They're just going to try and deny the plant here. David P with an easy shot to find. He's found so much damage. The bomb will go down just about. The spam through the boxes is doing so much work. A combined 41 HP for the T side now as the 2 versus 1 retake looks to come in. Nice nade. Grabs the first. Immor down, and the last man alive's an easy shot for David P. 13-1 the scoreline. Oh my goodness gracious me, chat. Ooh, this hurts a little bit to watch sometimes. It's really unfortunate for Demise. They are struggling to get into this one. 13-1 the scoreline. Can the Turkish side find some kind of a comeback, or is this how it will end? The AWP is out on Immol. There's AK-47s across the board. Can they grab themselves a second round? Double AWP setup is brought out again by the Frenchman. It has been absolutely brutally effective over on that CT side of things, but perhaps Demise this time can find their way through it. Early nades, again, going to do good damage. That's such a nice lineup. Immor down to 59 HP before he has any idea what's going on. The smoke goes deep to cover him off. And it's just simple CS executed well by the Frenchman at the moment. We need to see Demise coming up with something a little bit different. So we do see some utility thrown towards mid. This looks like it could turn into a mid take. David P actually playing towards the window. Only an AK-47 to work with, so not your stereotypical AWPs. And that's going to allow this short take to come through from Demise. No pressure towards the connector area. They should get free presence towards B here. This is looking much, much better as Mini grabs an early frag. That's the AWP of Maka down. Logan can only find one before he's dropped. And this is much, much better from Demise. Immor with a lovely pick to take down David P, and 4 versus 2. Of course the Frenchmen are going to go for it. Last round of the half, but can they find this? It looks like Demise might get themselves a second round and set up for the ultimate comeback, which is the only way I could describe it. Jane and Jinx to try and get back into the site here. And he's got an easy frag. Immor cleans up house. It will be a second round for Demise, and they will have half a chance as they head into the second half. But it's going to take some miracles, boys. It is going to take something truly special over on the CT side for Demise if they want a chance in this best of one. It is going to take something truly spectacular. So the halftime is where I do my sellout segment, if anybody didn't know. If you are enjoying the stream, I know so many of you have followed already. Feel free to drop us a follow. My social media is below. I tweet when I'm casting on Twitter. So that's my sellout segment done. Nice and quick, boys. We'll get back to the CSA. And just picked up a couple of flashbangs and a defuse kit. It looks like Logan will be trusted with the P250 at the moment. David P picking up a ton of utility as well. A Molotov and a smoke to back it up. We'll be really intrigued to see where Heretics look to throw that. And how they look to build this round. They need to try and find and execute. They could shut this one down very, very quickly if they plan things out correctly. There's a couple of flashbangs. It looks like Demise will be playing the retake strategy towards that A-bomb site. You can see Engine, the only player there. The fake smoke's actually coming out early on from Heretics. They're faking that presence towards A in the early round, and now they look to explode out of mid. Mini has support towards connector. Beautiful flashbang. He will find the opening pick. Mini, what a headshot to find a second. The dink has come through from David P, but Jane not quite able to connect onto the CT player. Has left this A-bomb site a little bit open at the moment. David P completely alone here, and this should be an easy find. Paz with the wall bang, and it's 5 in fact on 2. I thought it was 4 on 2. Jane able to find 1. Maka grabs the second. They're looking to pull this off, but what a headshot from Mini. And now it's all onto Jane. 3 versus 1. Heretics, they wanted to get this one over and done with, but the 3v1 not going to come through. Bayaz wallbanging Jane through his own teammate. And it is a third for Demise. They do get that pistol round under their belt, and now they can start to build. Now we can look for that hero recovery over on the CT side of Mirage. It is a great place to find yourselves. CT side of Mirage is not the worst place to look for a comeback. The French doing what the French do, however, and of course forcing up fully. Pistols the MAC-10 onto Jane. Plenty of utility to plan this execute out to perfection. Let's see what they can find here. 3 CZs and the MAC-10 really do suggest that they're going to go fast. They're just going to throw the utility and go for it. Maka on the Deagle, because he's the AWPer, is just there to try and catch anybody getting aggressive towards the A ramp. So Heretics, they're playing a waiting game here. They're hoping that the rotations will draw off. The utility will be thrown by the CT side, as now the execute looks to come through. Plenty of smokes thrown. The Molotovs to line up as well. Heretics are going for this, and they're going for it whole hog. It's down to Engine and Mini to lock this one out. Mini grabs an early one, a second as well on that AUG before he falls back. Looks to support his teammate on the site as well. Engine, low HP, will finally be found, but Mini grabs his third of the round. Paz is there to support, and this is much, much more like it from the Turkish roster. David P is 1v4 with that bomb in the middle of sight. No way he's going to be recovering this situation. Just looking to get some exit round damage here, and the auto shotgun a bit more. Is going to push up. David P manages to grab himself a freebie as he's brought down to 64. Wouldn't expect to necessarily see him saving the auto shotgun over on the T side of Mirage, but I'm not going to argue with it. He may well decide to. No harm, no foul. He's left 1v3, 28 seconds left on the clock. There's nothing he can really do here. There's nothing he can even be expected to do by his team. He's just got to fall back, and I think he is just going to call the save. He's just going to try and keep his hands on that auto shotgun. Bayaz may not let him, but just misses the timing to catch the T-sided man as he makes his way back in towards middle with an auto shotgun. Not the angle you'd expect him to pick, but he will be allowed to live by Demise, who look more interested in keeping that AUG and indeed the M4 alive. David P looking for the exits here late in the round, out in the open. That'll be an easy find for Paz, and he didn't die before time, so he's getting no money in this. Curious decision from the Frenchman, but what can you do? And now, Demise have a fourth. The Turkish folk in chat are losing their minds here. They believe, they think this is winnable. Let's see what they can do. 13-4 the scoreline. And it's just P250s for the Frenchmen. Couple of Glocks as well. They are really struggling economically here. One flashbang on Maka to try and enable these peaks, to try and find something. He's actually completely away from his teammates. He could throw a very long-winded flash in towards that A-bomb site where Mini's playing a retake here, so there is an opportunity perhaps for the T-side to get that bomb plant down. You would argue that's a success in this sort of a round, just getting the bomb down. Just trying to find any kind of damage here. Maka is completely isolated. He does have that flashbang. He is going to throw, but of course the UMP dodges it. Immel will find an easy frag, and now as the bomb looks to go down, Jane actually manages to grab the one. Engine looking to stabilize the ship. Will find good damage. Paz through the boxes, grabs himself a double, and it's all onto Jane. I thought for a moment the Frenchmen were going to get that bomb down, but Demise had very different ideas for this round. They're just going to swarm on towards this A-bomb site. And there's nothing Jane can really do. I thought that that was going to go a little bit better for Heretics. I'm not going to lie to you, chat. I am going to open a window, however, because it is hot in here. There we go. God Paz grabs his third of the round. Pazers, as the chat apparently says. That's a new one to me, but I'll try and remember to use it where I can, boys. 13-5 the scoreline. Perhaps a chance at a comeback here for Demise. Let's not rule anything out, ladies and gents. 13-5. MAC-10 on David P. AWP for Maka. Kriegs and an AK onto Logan as well. It's not the best buy in the world for the Frenchman, but they can try and find some damage. Lovely opening pick from him, or an Engine just straight through the smoke. He cares not for smokes. He cares not for flashbangs as he finds the frag. And I've got to say, Demise are looking much, much better on their CT side. Aggressive towards the A ramp. Mini will get a freebie onto Jinx, and they're just dismantling this French side. Why couldn't we see this over on their T side? Why wasn't this the way it was on the T side, as Jane and David P are left 2-on-5. Jane will be able to grab a freebie in towards Mini, but he's brought down to 50 HP in response. And this is where it starts to look a little bit wobbly for the French side, and perhaps a slight hint of doubt starting to creep in. David P able to recover the AWP, and we may just see the two-man save coming out from the Frenchman here as they look to back out of the situation. The bomb is still committed fairly aggressively in towards the Palace area, but I'd be surprised if we see Heretics going for the aggressive push here. They're 2-on-4, half HP over on Jane. I think the productive play here is just to save those rifles, keep the AWP and the Krieg up, keep your economy building in towards the remainder of this second half, because so far you've struggled against this Turkish side. Demise are looking good on their CT sides. And there's the exact call. David P has wedged himself into spawn. He wants nothing more to do with this round. Jane is looking for some kind of a pick on that creek. Might just look for the damage, but now he's falling back through the palace. Nothing more that he can expect to find in this round. They're just going to save those 2 rifles. It will be a 6th round for Demise. It will be half an opportunity, perhaps, as this CT half continues to build into a quite intriguing game of CS now. 13-6 the scoreline.
Counter-terrorists win.
What more can you show us, Demise? What more can you give to us? What more have you got in store? The pause has been called. This time it's the Frenchman. They're starting to feel the pressure a little bit over on that T side of Mirage. Clearly both teams incredibly confident on their CT sides. Not quite the case over on the T side of things, as Heretics have faltered massively. I mean, the frags still go their way, of course. Maka on 23, Jane on 20, but they're not too far behind now, Demise, with Imor on 15, Mini on 12. They're starting to find a slight hint of consistency. Could this be it? Could this be the chance? The opportunity for the Turkish roster to jump on here. The buy has come through around those 2 saved rifles. It's not the best buy in the world. They're trying to save money where they can. It's Deagles for the 3 remaining teammates. What do you do here, Heretics? How do you try and find this round? Heavy Q towards that B-bomb site early on. The Orb of Maka and the Krieg of Jane really need to be effective here in the early round. They need to find some picks. There has to be significant economic damage over on the Demise side of things. Their economy is not set by any means. Mini on 1650, Imor on 1800. That is not a position you want to find yourselves in. It's not great over on the Demise side of things. So if Heretics can grab a couple of frags in, there's opportunity. They could disrupt the economy, and that's where things could get really awkward. You're trying to find the information. It looks like Heretics are playing this slow round. They're trying to find some kind of pick. They're trying to make those Deagles go to work. But at the moment, they're really not finding anything. Demise happy to sit back, happy to hold their CT positions, happy to wait for Heretics to come to them, and indeed they will as the mid-execute comes through. Deep smoke connector, but Engine's in front of it. An easy pick to find to open things up, and the smoke is actually the enemy of Heretics now. This utility is going to do good damage over on the CT side of things. 5 on 4. These Deagles are finding nothing. Maka heads towards B in an attempt to find some kind of a pick, but he just misses the timing, and now Engine hits open season. David P able to get 1 in response. This is where the economy's not really there, but Heretics, they don't have time, the French roster. Mini grabs a freebie, and that fake bomb plant is going to get a couple of frags to David P, but really nothing he could even hope to achieve there. Maka takes the tag down to 18 health, and they're just saving the rifles once more. It's a 7th round the way of Demise. And that round looked very misplanned. It looked like the Frenchmen had no idea what they were doing. Oh my goodness me, could we see the comeback from this Turkish roster? What do we think, chat? Is it gonna happen? The Orps on Maka, they have the buy. David P, of course, saving the Krieg. There's a Krieg and a couple of AKs to back him up. Plenty of utility as well. Imor on that favored AWP. He struggled so much over on the T side of things, but he's coming into his own on this CT half. He's really starting to hit his stride, and it's really starting to look impressive for the Demise roster. This is what we wanted to see from them. This is the kind of competition you want, and you hope you get at MDL. Aggressive setup from Imor. Demise only bringing out the single AWP setup. They don't want to play too aggressively. Jane takes the tag down to 17 HP. Maka going to swap out the AWP onto that low HP player. That's just to allow him to try and get some more damage into the round, but for the time being, not spotting much of anything. Maka going for the peaks in towards middle. He's trying to find some kind of damage. He's not getting much of anything at the moment. Heretics, again, they're slowing down this round. Something brutal. Not really finding any kind of picks into the opening. And Mini is, again, very aggressive in towards the A ramp. Looks to find the damage, but Jinx has read it. A lovely opening pick. Could this be it for Heretics as the push starts to come through? Bayaz has the underpass area and will find the one-for-one trade. There's no Molotovs being thrown by the Frenchman to try and trade him out. So Logan's going to go down as well. Bayaz is locking this A-bomb site down. Finally traded out by Maka, but it's 3-on-3, and this is when Engine looks to strike an easy frag to find it again. No time for the Frenchman. There is nothing more they can hope to do. Jane is taken down. Last man alive is David P, and he needs again to try and save this. Free takes the dinks, but will just about find the frag. What can they do here? That's the real question. I am very intrigued to see what Heretics can do. They're yet to find a round over on the T side of things. If anyone wants to translate that copy pasta as well, feel free to throw it at me, by the way, boys. There's 4 CZs and a Krieg. I have no idea what that copy pasta says, so if there's a translate in the chat, that would be great. It's 5-on-5. The French side are going to go fast towards this B bomb site, but Demise have looked so solid so far over on the CT side of things. You do wonder if this is even going to do a dent. There's 4 CZs, 1 Krieg available, but really nothing they can do. Paz gets one on the trade. Finally, the CZs do get a couple of kills. Logan and Jane getting one apiece, but the bomb site's open. The bomb is always stuck on backbench, and the smokes are starting to fade now. This is where it gets awkward. Engine looking to cover the cross, and they need to get the bomb onto site here. Boost up is a genius move, and Immel will find a freebie onto David P. Mini able to tidy things up. It will be a 9th for Demise. They are 1 round away from their double digits. They are 1 round away from making this comeback look like it's a reality here. This is something truly special if they can pull this one off. They were 13-2 down at the half. And they are looking to pull off the impossible here, Demise. They are looking to really make it happen here. The pause has been called. It's Heretics again. The Frenchmen, they want to find a way back into this. I thought this game was going to be over before it had even started. But Demise, they are not giving up. They are not giving an inch here. They are pushing for absolutely every frag, every round. They believe in themselves. And I think the chat does too as we head into round number 8 of this second half. Still the actually, the double up setup has been brought out now by the CT side. Mini, of course, saving himself that Krieg, and it's 5 Mach 10s for the Frenchman, and suggests a very fast pace. And indeed, they are going to head towards this B-bomb site. Lovely use of the utility early on by Demise, but Paz, he's stuck. That Molotov leaves him in an awkward situation. Bayaz able to bail him out as Paz actually grabs a second inside the smoke before he's traded. Bayaz a little bit isolated. Logan grabs a second on the Mach 10. The run and gun from the Frenchman has brought them a 3-on-3. The Mach 10s across the board have done some damage, and with 2 AWPs on this retake, this could get a little bit awkward for Demise. Surely this isn't how it happens. Surely this isn't how Heretics get back into proceedings. Mini able to find one, traded out by David P. He's recovered an M4 and he's looking to make a nuisance of himself. Nades his own teammate. David P with it all to do. 1-on-2 now. This would be something truly special. So many angles to clear. He grabs himself the first. 1v1 down to 44 HP. It's the Mach 10 of Immor to try and tidy it up, and he will just about manage it. And you do wonder what would have happened if he hadn't naded his own teammate. Oh my goodness, it's double digits for Demise in the most ridiculous of circumstances. What can you even say about that? There's no words to describe the situation that just occurred. Heretics, the architects of their own downfall in that round. And now Demise draw ever closer. They draw within 3. The frags are starting to stack up, and Heretics are not finding their feet over on the T side of things. They got that 3-on-3, and they dismantled it themselves. Early aggression towards mid. This time, Demise are going to try and counter it, getting very aggressive around the edges of these smokes. Logan's shadow will give him away. That's an easy frag for Bayaz. The double peaks actually traded quite efficiently. David P from underpass manages to grab a freebie as well. The AWP has to do good work, and Immor finds a beautiful pick to make it 2-on-2. Imor and Mini versus Jane and David P. Mini with a beautiful position. That smoke, not quite good enough. He'll get a freebie, and it is all onto David P. He's flanked in towards the kitchen, but Imor's just spotted him out. Imor's got the shot. There we go. 11-13. Demise are determined to make this comeback happen. French CS at its finest, ladies and gentlemen. What can you say? Can Demise pull off the impossible here? Can they make it happen? Single AWP setup this time. Their economy isn't the greatest. They still haven't managed to set themselves the way Heretics did, but they have scraped their way to 11 rounds. Heretics going fast towards the A-bomb site. Full utility thrown. They're just trying to lock this one out. They want the after-plant situation, and they may well get it here. Mini goes for the wide peak. Logan takes him down. There's good tags to work with, but they're struggling to find frags this time, Demise. The bomb will go down. 4v5. Can the Turkish roster find this retake? Spamming through, damage done across the board. That's a beautiful nade, and that will dunk onto Logan. Bayaz has equalized things. 4-on-4, recovers an AK-47. This CT side wants it. You can tell they are desperate to make this round happen. Smoke goes out towards Palace. That will keep Jinx out of proceedings unless he wants to get aggressive. Full utility being thrown. A missed smoke from Demise. Could that be their demise indeed? Smoke goes onto the bomb engine. He's going to stick it. 5 seconds is all he needs, but he hasn't got it. Mac has got the spray, and Heretics will have their 14th. 2 more rounds for the French side, but that is their first round of the T side of Mirage, and I cannot emphasize that enough. This is absolutely ridiculous. Boy, am I glad I decided to cast this one tonight, ladies and gentlemen. 14-11 the scoreline. The bye is on the rocks for Demise. This could be it. This could be the opportunity that the T side of Heretics need to push their way through to finish things off. Deagles, MP9s, Demise, Paz able to catch the opening pick. I don't know what David P was even doing there. Trying to be the flanker, but he gives away his position with the noise. And now 4v5. This is where the pistols can start to do good work. It's a really interesting stack from Demise. 3 players playing very close to the ramp, and indeed Palace. Can they find the push? Can they take it down before Heretics become too effective? The utility being thrown. That Molotov will force Demise off of at least one of these positions. Engine able to maintain his ground towards Palace. Has the utility from his teammates to back him up as well. This is absolutely huge. Mini going to set himself up beautifully close to the A-ramp. Can he find the damage? Can he find the frags? He's getting so much information from the noise, but they need to find damage here. It looks like Heretics are going to commit to this. They are going to push straight into the mouth of it. Jane gets spotted out by the AWP of Immol. He now has the angle, and this starts to get awkward for Heretics. Smoke dropped, and now the push is looking to come through, but there's utility to back it up. Engine gets one. Mini grabs a second. That's the bomb down. The rotation has been called. You can see the AWP making his way back around. Maka fully blinded. Can't quite hit the shot, and Maka and Jane are left 2 versus 5. How have Demise pulled this off? Maka with a beautiful flick will get at the very least 1, but there's only 30 seconds left on the clock. What can the Frenchman do? Maka grabs a second out of absolutely nothing. 3 versus 2. Bayaz able to get 1. Maka trades on the AK, but there we go. It's Paz's to finish things off. Demise will have their 12th, and this match will continue, ladies and gents. This one is going absolutely nowhere. What an insane game of CS we are witnessing here. A huge opportunity for the Turkish roster to make something amazing happen here. They have the ultimate opportunity. Nice opening pick from Jane. He had the spawn, he took the AWP, and he's made it work. He's found some damage. The buy, of course, over on the T side of things, not the greatest, but Mini's still stuck on the MP9, and the AWP has gone down with Immor, so the firepower very much favouring Heretics as they look to split this A-bomb site. Engine is going to have to do absolutely tons of damage. He's out in the open. The smoke is appallingly timed. David P gets a freebie. Now this A-bomb site's looking very, very isolated as the push starts to come through. Spamming through, no damage found. The MP9 towards A-ramp, can't get it done either. Heretics have got a 5-on-2, and this bomb looks set to go down. Could this be it? It looks set to be match point unless Bayaz and Paz can pull off a miracle, but they know they need to save. They've been spotted out. David P gets an absolute freebie onto a rapidly retreating Paz, and it's the last man alive in Bayaz to try and keep his hands on that M4. This is not how the Turkish roster would have wanted this one to go down. The comeback looked so possible there, but starting to run away from them now. Their economy was never really set over on the CT side of things, and you can see Beyaz, he's only got $750 backing up this save. Their loss bonus is virtually nil. In fact, it's $1,900. This is going to be an absolutely shocking buy, and they need all 3 rounds to try and prevent this one from finishing here and now. David P even dropping Beyaz after time. They need all 3 rounds here if they want a chance to make this one happen. They need something truly spectacular here, Demise. They have Deagles, they have CZs, they have the MP9s, but we believe, chat, it could happen. We've seen more impossible rounds come to fruition. Maka and Jane going for the double AWP setup over on the T side of things. Not something you see all that often. Could that lead to an opportunity perhaps for the Pistols? It looks like, again, this mid to A split has been called. 3 players towards top of mid as Jane and Logan find the opening picks. This is better from Heretics. They're 3v5 now. 2 CZs and a Deagle are all that stand between them and victory as they take control of middle. They're using that firepower advantage. They're using their utility beautifully. And Logan, he gets the opening pick. He spots the player out. No damage done. Jane finds Engine, and it's all on Beyaz. He's 1v5 with the Deagle in towards CT. This would take truly a miracle. The Frenchmen have finally found their feet. They've grabbed themselves a couple of rounds on the T side, and it looks set for victory here. Beyaz on the Deagle, spots the first player. Lovely tag. So many targets. He'll only find the one, and that will be